Number one, I'm Sheriff Wayne Ivey of the Brevard County Sheriff's Office. And again, this morning I'm at the Emergency Operations Center here with our Director, John Scott, and our Public Safety Director, Matt Wallace. We want to give everybody an update on the status of the storm, any of the damages and things that we've seen throughout the county. Overall, our county has responded well to this storm. We're very blessed, as are our neighbors to the north and south of us. I've had a chance to talk with the sheriffs from all of those counties, and they, I guess for lack of better terms, weathered the storm just as well. John, we saw the storm come in a little bit further north than they had predicted. Kind of walk us through what we've seen in the last 10 to 15 hours.
Yes, sir, and good morning, Brevard. So to your point, we saw the storm make landfall just a little bit north of the Vero Beach area, and then sort of track its way through pretty much all of Brevard County. Saw the eye really go through sort of the western portion of the county as we went through it. Good news in that is we did see what we were talking about from a wind speed perspective. We did see winds in the 40 to 65 mile an hour range with gusts as high as 70, 75 in that range. So forecast in that area was helpful. The other great news is we haven't seen the high rainfalls yet, right? We were worried about flooding going into this. We've seen about 3 to 5 inches, but the 6 to 8 inches we seem to have avoided for the most part for this storm. Still got a little bit more weather to go today. Probably not going to be out of here and gone completely till I'd say like sometime between 1 and 4, maybe as late as 5 today. Still continue to be breezy probably throughout the day and into the evening, but those stronger winds really gone by then, that rain gone by then. So that's really sort of where we are and where we are going looking forward.
All right, so let's talk about, I've been out riding the county this morning. I know some of our team has been out. Our partners at the different police departments have been out. Damage looks pretty minimal to the biggest part, but we've seen some flooding. Kind of walk us through what you've been reported here at the EOC.
Yeah, so we're getting very similar sort of sporadic reports countywide. I'm going to start with our beaches first because that's where we know we've got the biggest impact. And that's really what we've been tracking this whole event, right? Coastal erosion, large breaking surf, really beaches that were already vulnerable from Ian, now taking more damage from Nicole. So we're seeing that along the lines on our beaches. We know that sort of, there are a couple places where we're watching some structures, but we've got teams out there to support those things. And then really is a wind event for a lot of the county, right? So most of the county, we've had some reports of trees down on houses, trees in yards, those kinds of things. Occasionally some water in the homes, but that's sort of what we're looking at. No like pockets of damage that we've heard of yet, but we're doing everything we can to track those things. And while we're talking about damage, similar to what we did with Hurricane Ian, shortly, we'll be putting out numbers for crisis cleanup. That's so if you do have damage, you need someone to help from a volunteer group, you can call that number, get registered. And then we'll also be putting out our self-reporting where residents can log onto a website, let us know what's going on with their property, share any pictures. I want to highlight that that's you letting us know. That doesn't mean someone's going to come out and fix it, but it is really helpful for us in figuring out where those damages are and where we can begin to try to get resources to. So that's sort of where we are very early in this damage assessment process.
All right, now I know at one point, countywide, we had about 86,000 that were without power. Where are we standing on that now?
Yeah, I just talked to FP&L. We're down to about 77,000, 78,000 folks without power. That number will likely fluctuate. FP&L is getting crews out there as fast as they can. As those winds begin to lift, they'll be able to get more and more crews out there. They are very aggressively attacking any sort of power lines and those kinds of things. For context, that 77,000 represents about 23% of our total customers in Brevard.
Okay. So, and let's talk about that a little bit. You know, John's talked about the winds and stuff. One of the things that FP&L with their big trucks and the other companies that come here to assist them, they're really limited in being able to get out until those big winds die down. So now we're seeing them start to get out in the field. So we should see those power outages start to, the number of them come down. Also, with the reporting and the things of the damages, don't forget 211 is a great resource for us here in Brevard County. They can not only help direct you to where you need to go, but also give you information on all the different resources that are available out there as well. I'm going to talk real quick just about some of the safety concerns. Number one, please do not go to our beaches. I know everybody, we all love the beach and we all love, you know, our coastline here, but don't let curiosity take you out there today, please. Just stay away from those areas. We're trying to get teams in there as we can to support what we need, but we just don't need more traffic out there. So please, you guys always work with us so great as a community. Just give us a few days on that before you start heading out there. Power lines are down, so obviously we want to be very cautious. We always want to go outside and assess damage, but be careful going into areas that are standing water. There could be power lines that are impacting those as well. Other than that, the causeways are open. The winds are still pretty good out there, so we're going to ask you to just stay put, stay where you are. I know some of you want to go out and check your businesses and the different things, but there's not a lot of stuff open throughout the county, so just kind of stay where you're at for right now and let this thing pass through so that we come out of it as great as we have thus far. Matt, obviously all the government offices are closed, schools are closed. Tomorrow's Veterans Day, and so what can we anticipate as we move through this thing?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Sheriff. And thank you again, Brevard County. Thank you for tuning in for us this morning for these information sessions. And good morning. Yes, sir, Sheriff. Everything is still closed today. Local government facilities are closed. The schools are still closed. Just as a reminder, as the sheriff said, tomorrow is Veterans Day. All those offices and schools are already going to be closed again tomorrow, so those services will be limited. We anticipate going back to government services that are not affected by holiday, but just the normal services. Sometime this afternoon, we'll have a weather brief at 11:45 in about 30 more minutes. County leadership will get together and start making those decisions about when we'll open up services again. But we're kind of expecting this afternoon to be in line with what John was saying earlier about when those winds will leave us. So I want to reiterate what the sheriff said too. Please be safe if you have to travel. A lot of wind damage. Street signs are messed up. Stop signs are messed up. So just be extra vigilant. The winds will clear out this afternoon. So if you don't have to go out right now, hold off a little bit and then go out a little bit when the conditions are a little bit safer this afternoon. But come back and be back on our Facebook page and our social media. We'll release when those government services will be open. Again, we're anticipating sometime this afternoon to release those back open.
All right. For the most part, the storm impacted us just as John and his team had predicted. And you guys did just what we thought, and that is just worked with us to keep everybody in the community safe. We had a couple rescues that did take place throughout the night between Brevard County Fire Rescue, our local municipal fire rescues, and all of our law enforcement personnel. Injuries, impacts to life have been very minimal through this storm, and that's a credit to our citizens just taking advantage of the information we're providing and putting out.
Yes,
so, John, final thoughts on this storm? This will probably be the last time we do one of our live updates as the storm starts to pass.
I just want to echo what you're talking about there, Sheriff. Right? Is hang out with us, keep tight, stay where you are for a little bit longer. Let's let those winds pass. Let's not get out to really look at damage assessment too early, and then we put ourselves in harm's way. Avoid those things, and if you do have damage, please let us know. Please help us with that as we begin to build that picture and go forward.
I think a good analogy, too, is if you're in a race, you want to run through the tape. You don't want to stop short of the tape. So, Brevard, let's run through the tape on this one. Just don't stop short. Wait for those safe conditions, and then let's finish this race pretty safe.
Yeah, our shelters are still open. Will be, as people start to leave and return to their homes, those shelters will start to close down. But
yes,
other than that, the storm's done exactly what we kind of anticipated, and we've been blessed not to have anybody impacted by it. So we appreciate everything our community does. I always tell everybody, it takes community to protect the community. This is what that looks like. All of us working together to keep everybody safe. So you guys finish out the storm, and just know how much we love you and appreciate you guys working and partnering with us.
100%.